Good morning, students. Today, we will understand the human circulatory system and its components. The word circulatory means circulation of something within some certain path or circuit. So, in today's class, we are going to know the circulation of blood in our body and its importance. So, the blood transports oxygen to each cell of the body. It removes carbon dioxide from the body. It transports several hormones and nutrients such as the vitamins, proteins, fats, sugars, and many more to different parts of the body. Now, coming upon the components of circulatory system. There are mainly three components of the human circulatory system, and these are the heart, blood, and blood vessels. The heart is the pump which circulates the blood all around the body. The blood is the medium of transport of various substances throughout the body. Blood vessels are the channels through which blood is transported all over the body. Now let's focus upon the heart. We will talk about the structural and functional attributes of the heart. When we talk about the structure of heart, it has four chambers, two arteria and two ventricles. The arteria receives blood and ventricles pump it back to the body parts. The right atrium takes blood from the body. The blood is then squeezed into the right ventricle, which is just below the right atrium, and then pumped to the lungs. Students, we have to remember that the blood which heart receives from the body is deoxygenated, or the oxygen level in that blood is very low, whereas the oxygenated blood received from lungs is pumped by heart back to the body. This blood is rich in oxygen. Now, the oxygen carrying blood from the lungs enters the heart through left atrium. From left atrium, the blood moves down to left ventricle, and the left ventricle pumps it back into the body. Now, blood. Blood is a fluid connective tissue which acts as a medium and performs crucial functions such as transportation of oxygen, nutrients, and waste products. Blood has four main components that are red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and the plasma. Now, we will talk in brief about these four components. The main function of the red blood cells is to move oxygen throughout the body. The function of white blood cells is to guard against infection, fight parasites, and attack the bacteria. The main function of platelets is to produce blood clots, and the function of plasma is to help control body temperature, transport hormones and vitamins, and regulate osmotic pressure and blood volume. Now, we will talk about the blood vessels. The blood vessels are like the channels or the pathway through which the blood is pumped all over the body. The blood is transported all over the body. Okay. It has three main types. The blood vessels are of three types: veins, artery, and capillary. Now, what is artery? Artery are those blood vessels which carry blood away from the heart. So, if the blood is carried away from heart, it means it is being pumped. That is why the arteries are very thick. The walls of arteries are very thick. Why? Because when the heart pumps the blood, so it creates pressure in order to be transported in all over the body. It creates pressure in the walls of the artery. That is why arteries are required to be thick walled. The next are vein. Veins carry blood back to the heart. If the veins are carrying the blood back to heart, it means that the blood is deoxygenated and it requires less pressure to reach the heart. The third one is the capillary. Capillaries are the blood vessels which connects arteries and veins. They are responsible for the exchange of substances between blood and tissues. So now we will revise what we have studied. There are three main components of the human circulatory system. Those are heart, blood, and blood vessel. What does the heart do? Heart is a muscular organ that has four chambers: the right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, and left ventricle. Now, coming upon the blood has four main components: red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and plasma. What does the red blood cell do? The red blood cells move oxygen throughout the body. They carry oxygen throughout the body and get exchanged with every cell and tissues. The second component is white blood cell. The main function of white blood cell is to guard against any infection or parasite, bacteria. Now, the function of platelets is to produce blood clots. Wherever we get wounded or cut somewhere, we get hurt. So, in order to stop the blood flow from getting it outside the body, the platelets clog with each other to produce blood clot. In this way, the blood is clot from our wounds or the place where we are hit or the area of our body which is bleeding. So the next is plasma. What is the main function of plasma? It is to help control body temperature in transport of hormones, vitamins, and regulating the osmotic pressure and blood volume. The last one was blood vessels. There are three types of blood vessels: the arteries, veins, and capillaries. The arteries are the thickest one. The arteries are the thickest one. Why? Because when the blood is pumped in pressure from the heart to all over the body, so the pressurized blood can rupture the blood vessel, or it can harm the blood vessel if it is weak. So in order to withhold or withstand with the pressure of this pumped blood, the walls of arteries are very thick. The second one is veins. Veins are comparatively thinner than arteries because they carry deoxygenated blood back to the heart, and it is the blood which is flowing in veins is less pressurized because it is not being pumped by heart. The capillaries connect the arteries and veins, and they serve as channels for the blood. So this is all for today. We will meet in next class. Thank you.